steady hands, an open heart, love in action, this is strength. When inner power stands away, every moment finds its place. Those who serve with open eyes lift the world by how they live, shaping self to time and need. Grace appears in every deed. Action moves, then stillness stays. Calm remains through changing days. Decorated from within, strength and calm walk hand in hand. With all powers standing near, paths unfold smooth and clear. Light we live, both deep and true. A better world begins with you.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Insight session, A Journey to Within. Tonight, we have a beautiful opportunity to journey within, not simply to learn something new, but to reconnect with the peace, strength, and wisdom that already exist within us. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Alyssa Shavir. Alyssa is a multi-certificate fitness and wellness specialist. Also, I like to call it a exercise doctor. But beyond her professional journey is another journey, a journey within herself, a journey of self-discovery, reflection, and learning to connect more deeply with the soul. Through her experience in life, sports, service, and supporting others, Alyssa has come to understand the true strength is not only about what the body can do, but also what the peace we cultivate within us, the awareness we developed, and the connection we have with our inner self. Tonight, she invites us to pause from the noisy and busy world outside and to turn our attention within, to listen the soul and to reflect on who we truly are. And I would like us to warmly welcome our speaker for tonight.
Hello. Om Shanti, everyone. All right. Thank you, Mealy. That was really pretty. Do you want to come up here and do my this for me? When Sister Kinnery asked if I wanted to do this insight session. I avoided it like the plague. But she's very, very persistent. So I decided I'd take the last session of the month so that I could have a whole month to get over my nerves. And it still did not work. I was thinking about doing this, having this session standing. So if I needed to run, it would be an easy escape. So I decided, let me sit so I don't feel like running. Running. All right. So to start us off, I wanted us to just for a second close your eyes. And I just want you to take a nice slow breath and just listen, really, really hear the word home. Don't try to think too hard about it, but just notice what comes to mind when you say or hear the word home. Is it a place, a person, a memory, a smell, a feeling? Nothing at all. Now you can open back your eyes. And if you'd like to share, where did you go when you thought of the word home?
For me, it's not a place,
Mhm.
but it's more of a person. And when I think of home, it's not even a person, I should say. But when I think of home, the first thing that pops up in my mind is Baba. That's the first thing that pops up in my mind.
And how does that feel?
Like home, comfort, comfortable.
Mhm.
But the scenery that pops up right after was a nice special space that only me and he have. And that gave the feeling of comfort of being home. And you don't have no problem outside or coming in or so on. Just the warm feeling of being home.
Good. Thank you. The bot.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I thought about the same. And for me, after yesterday retreat, I feel like here is home and everyone feels like home as well.
So a place,
Yes.
a person.
A feeling of belonging, a feeling of accepted, just being naturally me. So it was more of a feeling.
It's interesting though, eh? Like we have one word, home, and we each have different experiences with what home is. And that's how I want you to take tonight. Like I'm gonna be saying quite a lot of things, but I don't have all the answers. And what I'm sharing here is maybe one journey. Maybe you relate or not, but it's not the only journey. And I want you to keep that in mind when we go along on this little conversation. So yes, when I first thought about this topic, one thing instantly came to mind. And I don't know if you guys know about this little Buddhist spiritual symbol. It's called a unalome. And yeah, I think I showed Sister Kinnery it, but basically, if you follow my fingers, it starts with a point, and then it goes up, and then it spirals and twists and flip back on itself, and then it reaches another straight point, and then there's a little lotus flower right at the top of it. And if you think about that, I don't know if you have the image in your head of what I just did. What would you think are those lovely little spirals and twists and flipping backwards? What would you think that means in the unalome? As part of the unalome. You have any idea what all of those nice little twists and turns might be? Say it, speak up, speak up.
I would say it means life.
Yeah, what about life?
Life is like that. It's twists, turns, up, down, in, out, all fashion is like a roller coaster. That's life.
It is. Any others? Any ideas of what all these twists and turns might be? Zoomland.
Shanti, everyone. I will say the mind. The mind is like up, down, in, out, all over the place.
Truth. But I want to challenge you into thinking. Oh, sorry, is there someone else?
Shanti, happy to see you, Alicia. I would
Hello.
say that it is the unraveling of the layers in which we cover ourselves.
I like that because I'm going to get into that. So maybe these twists were like difficult relationships. You lose a job and you're wondering, how did I end up here? Why am I here? Am I going to make it through? You know, simple things, move into another country, your whole life upturns, a breakup, a death, all of these things could toss and turn you in different ways. And why I said I wanted to challenge you into Liz made a good comment in terms of more of like an uncovering or so of, and more of an invitation to remember. So these things are happening, but it's not good or bad or anything like that. It's just, it helps you to grow, to change, and to remember your truest self or your purest self. And it just gives the idea that life is not a straight path. And if anybody could tell me that life is a straight path, then good on you. I am happy for you. But I think almost nothing in life is this straight path. Not even trees grow in a straight path. No river runs in a straight path, So why would we think that life or a journey into your inner self would be a straight path? We're such complex beings. Yeah, too many fairy tales. That's true. When I went to school in the university, like I felt like, man, like these people's lives are linear. Like it goes like I go to school, next I go to university, I find my person in university. I marry them, I get my job, I make my kids. Voila, life. And I was like, that's not me. That's that's not me. And I had people in university who used to tell me, well, at least because I started school a little bit later than others. And I'm like doing my master's at 26, 27. Like, Lise, like you're supposed to be like married and have kids and your life is supposed, and here you are at university, like no home, no nothing. And I was like, that's okay. Like, this is my journey. I don't have to be, it's not just one path, you know. But it was battling their idea of how your journey should be. And our journeys are quite way, 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 way different. And I was thinking, don't worry, it'll all come back and make a little more sense. But I was thinking of growing up, how lucky, or maybe fortunate is the word, how lucky I was to be able to have the opportunity to explore. I don't think like kids these days have the opportunity to explore. I mean, and explore sounds like such a, as a kid, when you think of kids, you think of that's exactly what they're doing, but not in today's society. So that's why I say like we are lucky, and maybe all of the people here sitting probably had a good childhood of imaginary worlds and entertaining yourself for hours with no social media, right? But now we have social media and it takes away that exploration. So, and I was just thinking how that ability to explore transferred over to adulthood. And it's funny because when I was in university, I did a strength test. And my top two strengths were learner and ideation. Love to learn and also love ideas, creating, playing around with knowledge. And I just thought that's what, as an adult, we need to continue playing around with knowledge. There's so much information out there, and you need to sit with it and twist it and turn it and make it your own. Stay playful with it, stay curious. And the reason I brought it up is because when I came here to take the course, maybe if I came years before, I would not have been this open to it. But lucky enough, I came here more open and curious. And it's allowed me to really, it's like the idea was not to come here and change it or prove it wrong or prove it right. But I really, when I first came, Sisakinami was like, it's a buffet. Look at it as a buffet. Come, take what you want, however it applies to you in your life, use it. You don't have to take everything. And there were a few things, and what I mean by taking knowledge and playing with it, I'm going to give an example. So during the Murlis that we do here, in every single Murli, Baba says, remember me. Remember me, remember me, remember me. And I was like, gosh, Baba, if you say remember me one more time. But then I got playful with it. And then I started to really hear it. When he said, remember me, I started to feel it. And I said, remember me. And I went inside. Remember me. Forget the distractions. Remember me. Who am I inside? Who's my purest self? Of course, I did remember him. But it's just looking at it in a different point of view. And that's how I want you to take it today. You know, you hear something, you don't have to take it as I say it, just play with it, right? Make it your own. The second thing I thought about was this idea of the cycle of time. And this was something that the cycle of time really had me. And it's basically the story of humanity, right? And when I was thinking about it, I was like, for me, this feels more like a personal metamorphosis, you know, like a personal journey of the soul. And I felt like, back to biology days, you know, like egg, larvae, chrysalis. Okay. So I looked, and with the cycle of time, there are four ages. There's gold and silver, copper, iron age. And I thought in the golden age and the silver age, that when you look at that, it's like kids. They're pure selves. They don't have to practice joy. When they cry, immediately after they forgive. You know, they're so curious. Every little thing fascinates them. You know, there's no acting, no pretending, no masks, no, you know. And their original qualities, it's just natural. You know, everything just comes out, like peace flows naturally, joy flows naturally, you know, love flows naturally. There's no thinking, there's no second guessing, you know. Like when you just see a child, it's like immediately your mood is just changed. And as life happens, we enter into copper age. And here is where your parents teaching you, school teaching you, friends teaching you, society teaching you, social media teaching you. And then you start making these little agreements with yourself. And what I mean by these little agreements is, for example, for me, one time I was reading a Mother's Day card to my mom, and I had all my siblings around. And I started to cry because I am the most emotional one. And I started to cry, and my siblings, they laugh. And in that moment, I made a little agreement with myself that I will never do this again. I will never read any of this again. I, you know, I will never cry again because I don't want them to see me emotional anymore. And that's like just one of those agreements that you end up carrying. You don't realize that you end up carrying with you into adulthood. So I was wondering what kind of agreements you might have made as a child, if you remember any, that led you, that came with you from childhood into adulthood.
For me, one of the little agreement is that since in childhood, when my sister started to go to school, you know, we both go into the same school, you know, everybody knew I have a little sister and what's not. And I have some old classmates. They love to trouble my little sister because she was quiet. So I took the responsibility, and I said that little yes, said no matter what problem she might be, and I'll be the one, I'll be the protection, I'll be the shield.
Mm.
And up to now, till this day, I still hold on to it. And I believe it's not only me alone that make the decision, but I think most of the older siblings or the first child normally make that decision when they know they have smaller, younger siblings. That no matter what problem they go through, they will always be the shield or always be that shoulder or the hand to catch them back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, good. Anybody else? Zoomland. Any little agreements that you made? Even if you changed them because you became aware of them, you can still answer.
Yeah, for me, it is bullyism. I had issue with people bullying people as a kid, and as a kid, I fought for a lot of even my male friends, my younger brother, some male friends who have gone, like when the kids in the school took advantage of them, I fought them, and I won more often than not. Sometimes I got beaten up myself, but today I just cannot stand the blind, arrogant bullyism. And sometimes I lose it and I just stand up against all odds. So yeah, for me, it still is bullyism. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. I can relate. I won't share any stories though. But if nobody else has to share, but we'll just give some examples of just some agreements. Maybe you decided that you have to be perfect. You shouldn't cry. I have to make everyone happy. If I fail, I'm not good enough. I need other people's approval. I have to protect myself. So all of these are these little agreements. And when I was thinking about it, it's just little agreements that creates your identity. It creates your personality, right? And when I say your identity, your body's identity. Because when you think of it further, they create your body's identity, but it doesn't change your soul's identity. Your natural ability, your natural essence is there. That doesn't change. And when I think of like these little agreements, I think about, ever sit in a plane and it's cloudy, rainy, and you're like, they're like, why am I here? I shouldn't be flying in this weather. But then as the plane takes off and gets higher and higher and higher, eventually you reach a point where you get above the clouds and you just see the sun. And it is clear as day. And when you think about it, was the sun not there all the time? So when I thought of these agreements, I thought it's like these clouds, this rainy day, it's just covering up the, the soul, your natural, your innate qualities. And so this journey is not about becoming something else or becoming someone new, but it's more uncovering all of those lovely little clouds, all of those lovely little agreements that we made, just uncovering them and then coming back to our, what's I call it, our purest selves. And where was I? Yes, I'm back at it. So once we start questioning all of those things, you end up with the question of, who am I? Without all of these agreements, without all of the things that society deemed us to be, or your parents wanted you to be, or the habits that you've built over, who am I? And it led me to think of this really nice book that I read. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. by Viktor Frankl. And he was a psychologist, a survivor in the Holocaust. And his observations in the concentration camps were just profound. He was like, everything was taken away. All of their external world was taken away. But there was one freedom that remained. And that's the freedom to choose your inner response. And he gave the story of this father and his son, this little son. And with every bad thing that was happening, his father made a game out of it. So it was just, it seemed like just father and son playing. Now, did the external world change? No. But the inner world still remained at peace. It was still there. And it got me to thinking that if peace could exist there, then, then where does it come from? It has to be or original, what's the word I'm looking for? Say that? Yes, or original virtue. And in one of my sociology classes in university, I had a professor who said that we are all products of time, place, and circumstance. And for a long time, I believed that until I took this story into account. And if time, place, and circumstance determined who you are, then how are they able to remain at peace, to still keep that freedom? Go on.
No, Sister Christine just texted inherent.
Inherent, yes, our inherent qualities. I like that. And yes.
Innate. No?
And I was thinking that, again, with my experience with the Raj Yoga meditation, I was thinking, yes, maybe time, place, and circumstances, again, it shapes the body story. But it doesn't change the soul. And I wrote down here, maybe peace isn't something circumstances give us, but maybe it's something circumstances cover. And if that is true, then our journey here is to uncover, right? And then it also led me to my other guy, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau? I might be messing up his name, but he's a French philosopher. And he wrote a book called Reveries of a Solitary Walker. And if you had to read a book, I would give it a go. So he was caught up in society, in the conflict, in the drama, the debates, this idea of reputation, bad reputation. And then he was outcasted by society. And he thought that this would have been the worst thing that could happen to him, to be pushed out of society. To realize that that's the best thing that ever happened to him, because he felt so at peace when he was able to go inside and meet solitude. And he wrote that there are moments when we become sufficient onto ourselves. There's certain quotes that make my tail wag, so I'm like, so take it as you like, sufficient onto ourselves. And when I heard it, I felt so much silence. I'm gonna read it because I write it better than I say it. It felt like coming home. a place where for just a moment, the soul stops chasing, it stops proving, it stops becoming, and it simply rests. And I ask, when was the last time you truly rested? Not physically, but spiritually. You know, when was the last time you stopped trying to impress somebody? When was the last time you stopped wanting to fix anything, become someone else? When was the last time that you truly felt rested? You want to give it a shot? Go for it.
For me, it was this morning, coming back to Baba home after so long. According to Sister Kinnery, almost a year. So yes, indeed, I did feel at home, at rest, both physically, spiritually, mentally. I felt rest.
Nice. Please. Brother Davy, you want to give a go?
Coincidentally, actually, also today, after lunch, I took the time just to forget about everything that happened, because at this moment, life is on many aspects very roller coaster, both family, work, whatever. And yeah, today I was like, it's just a time to disconnect from the outer world and just connect to who I am and why I'm here. So I just switched off my phone. I closed my laptop. I closed the door of my office, and I just was connecting to myself.
I
And
felt that.
that felt good.
Good. Thank you. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, I think it are for many people all around the globe. So many people tell me that it are hard times, and that can be because of struggling with health. I have a lot of people around me that's getting health issues. There are conflicts in families. There are so many people that seem to struggle these days. And yeah, that make it hard if you don't stop from time to time.
Slow
Yeah.
down. Thank you.
When you asked that question, it had me thinking a lot. When was the last time I truly felt rested? And at first, I didn't know to answer that. But coming here at the center, the first time I started to now, I think every moment I'm here, every time I'm here, I feel like myself. I feel rested. I don't have to worry about work or external situations. So
I relate. This is my little bubble,
yeah,
I
it's
like to call it.
yeah, more so a safe space.
Yeah. And going off of these things, like I watched a video the other day, and this woman, she was saying that we take these little safe spaces, these healthy relationships, that turning off the phone and coming back into ourselves, finding things that we like doing. We take it casual. You know, we think that, oh, I'm gonna do self-care later. I'm gonna forget about me. Like we work with, people from Sis Kinney and I, we ask them like, would it when do they take care of themselves? And they say, oh, when I remember. Sometimes it's a year. But she was saying that human beings have this mindset that it can't get worse. Like, this is worse. This is as bad as it gets. But she was like, no, that's not life. Life doesn't happen like that. Like everything bad could happen one time. You step out your house and a nice clean thing, a bus pass, spill water on you. It's your first day for the interview. That happened to me on my first day of the job in Chicago. I was just outside my workplace, intern, new, and a bus pass and just splashed me. It was a great icebreaker on the first day, so we had a good laugh. But she was saying, like, things happen. And if you think that you can't go below zero, you could go to below zero. On the number line, there's negatives. And if you're not working on the things that you enjoy, if you're not taking care of yourself, finding the time for yourself, building these healthy relationships, having these healthy spaces, then when life hits you, you're going to go below the zero. And now when it's time to grow, it'll feel impossible to grow because you're here. So she was saying, keep life above zero. Make these things not casual. These things you should be taking these things much more seriously than we actually do. So when life hits you, you're not below zero. You have at least, 50 above the line, and it feels a lot more manageable. Right? And it's also like it builds your capacity too. If you're above zero, then it builds your capacity to help others too. Because people lives from when they born, could be real a real roller coaster. It's not, so they grow up in these toxic environments and they know nothing that's good, nothing that's healthy. So they already start in a negative. And sometimes just having that awareness that, my life may be okay. When you come into contact with somebody, you go to KFC, for example, and the lady at the back there is like, oh, what you want? What you want, order? Why you asking me? What was the order again? And she serving, and you think, oh my gosh, this is poor customer service. But you have no idea what her day was like. She coming from the negatives. And you can be like, where's your manager? You could go off on her. Or you can just be like, all right, she's having a bad day. Just let me slow it down. And you can put her back into a better space. So, and that's what I mean. Like, if we get better at taking care of ourselves, then we build that capacity to help and not react to when we see somebody who might not be or might not even be able to. There's just so many things that they have to do. They don't even have time to remember to take care of themselves. So, you wanted to say something, Millie?
Yes, I also want to add to it that when we do these little activities that brings us joy, that we feel peace, we're also creating new habits in where when you hit rock bottom, you can always go back to it. Like for us, the members of Brahma Kumaris, we would wake up morning time, do Amrit Vela, listen to Murli. At first, for me, I would say, oh my God, I hope I don't fall asleep, Yeah, it does happen, but after you get a determined thought and you keep doing it over and over again, in the long run, you do realize that this is my safe zone. This is my time that I put aside to be with myself, and not only to be with yourself, but to also reconnect and re-energize yourself too as well. And also, apart from that, at my workplace, we also imbibe something similar of creating new activities for where the kids would do. And by doing this, we allow the kids them to express themselves because when you go a day, like when you try to fit yourself in them shoes, or some of them they can't speak, they can't express themselves. But when you put yourself in them shoes and you realize how frustrated they does be, and then you take that knowledge now and you try to fit yourself in someone's shoe who is also can't express themselves, but they can speak. But due to having the fear of being judged, and from outside, you can set your schedule or set things in place where you're trying to help them, but they won't know you're trying to help them.
Mhm.
So it's all about the little things that we put ourselves to do and what we create. Sometimes you never know. I happened to read a quote and they say that if you're feeling bad or if your friend is feeling bad and they call you, don't let the phone ring out. Answer it. Just a simple hello or just a simple good night, good morning, or whatever could save a life, could save them. Because sometimes you don't know when someone calls you, you don't know what they might going through. But just by you picking up the phone and saying hello could change something.
I like it. Thank you, Millie. Anybody else wants to add, have a different take online? You don't have to share, that's okay. Not putting you on the spot. All right. Let's- Somebody sent a. So I was thinking about this idea of knowledge again. And I thought of just like how much knowledge. Yeah. What's sorry, go ahead.
I think Amanda, and it says, really and truly, it's not self-care, it's soul care. When I, the soul, am peaceful, happy, light, loving, etc., etc., all is great in the world, and others around benefit. The saying, when I change, the world around me changes. The discourse that she read was, master your mind and master the world.
Mhm. Yeah. At least master your world. Um, but yes, I was thinking like we live in a society today of so much knowledge. We have everything at our fingertip. But when I look at kids today, these generations, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they can tell you the answer for anything, but they haven't experienced anything. Hello? Gainda? Oh, okay. But I feel like they haven't like experienced a lot. So like they say things, but there's like no feelings like attached to it. It's almost like they ask ChatGPT for the answer. Hello, my boyfriend and I are going through this. Chat, tell me what I should say to them. And these are actual things that happen. So there's no like thought, no processing, no, sitting with these feelings and connecting, yeah, there's no human anymore. And I think like that's one of the biggest injustices that or that we can do, believing that just knowledge has the ability to transform us. So we listen to all these TED Talks, these podcasts, we read books, inspirational quotes, sticky notes with them, and knowledge is great, don't get me wrong, but but it's and I was given Sister Kittery the analogy the other day is like, how many of you like honey? You like honey? Yeah, you like honey? Right. So imagine I give you all these books about honey. So now you get the book on the history of honey, the texture of honey, chemistry of honey, the nutrition of honey. Will you know the sweetness of it through the books? Will you know the sweetness? You're not gonna know the sweetness until you taste it, right? Right. So, and that's what we're experiencing, like in this age, they don't have that experience of the sweetness. And I was just, where was I? I lost my thought, but thank goodness I have my notes here. These- Not using what? Right. On these. And I'm not saying that you have to taste everything to experience it, okay? You can use logics when you need to. You can learn from other people's experience, make a logical decision to not taste, but you know it's bad for you. So don't use my words against me. But why I say this is because spirituality is something that you have to experience. Peace is something that you have to experience. Silence is something that you have to experience. It's not, you can't just read about it, listen about it, hear it. You have to play with it. You have to get deeper. And that's why you see like a lot of people, like they come in here closed. They already have so much perceptions of what this is like and this is wrong and this is right, but you can learn so much. Even if it's wrong, quote unquote wrong, you can still learn so much from any of these experiences. And since today I'm speaking about experience in silence, I'm going to be a little rebel and put my little meditation before the end on these. So I just want you to sit comfortably. I should probably sit comfortably. And you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. I'm going to close my eyes. And just take a big, deep, slow breath in. And when you inhale, I just want you to feel the air blowing through your nose, down your windpipe, and filling your lungs. So much light, so much life. And as you exhale, withdraw yourself from all of the roles you play, all of the masks you wear, all of the stories you tell yourself. Withdraw. And just sit. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to become anything. You don't have to go anywhere. Just go back to your innate qualities. Peace, kindness, love, gentle but so strong. Just allow the soul to rest. And go ahead and open your eyes. And I just want to ask you, did anything around you change? Did your external world change? Anything around you, did it change? But what about inside of you? You feel something different? Did home take a different form, a different meaning? Did you rest a little?
Currently, nothing changed, but it's that internally I feel lighter, calmer, more relaxed, and happier.
Happier, you sound nervous. I mean, like you want to cry.
I'm not nervous.
All right. Thank you. Do you want to? Anybody wants to share their experience? It's okay if you didn't have one. But I was thinking about beyond meditation, like what are things that we do to go inside, be silent with ourselves? And I read this quote, and again, my tail wags when I hear really nice quotes. And it says, silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of the self. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of self. And I don't even need to speak on it. I think the quote speaks for itself. And I was just thinking, when you like come into this awareness, you go silent, you start finding yourself. I go back to our cycle in time, and now we're in the confluence age. You have more freedom, not of the external things, but a freedom to choose how you respond to the external world, how you want to be, when the external world is chaotic, and our external world is very, very chaotic. So I was just thinking, as we go along in spirituality, I had quite a lot of people like come up to me and say, Elise, like, I don't want this practice to change you. or these things. And I'm like, but I want it to change me. Like change is inevitable. I don't want to be fighting life. I want to love deeper. I want to understand better. I want to be kinder, more compassionate. I want inner peace when there's external conflict. So why not let it change me? Well, what are we fighting? And people believe that the path of spirituality means that you stop life, you stop living. And that's not true because you still wake up to go to work. You still have your obligations. But like I said, like you go through life now, like you're not, it, life doesn't imprison you anymore, right? Because now you surrender to life. And like I said, like you love deeper. Like everything, nothing is forceful. Nothing. You're open. You're curious again. You're open to uncertainty. You're open to being uncomfortable. You're open to change. And then as you go deeper into your spiritual, you'll find that people quietly just falls out of your life. And it's not like you're forcing them out. It's just as you become more your authentic self, as you come back, you go home to yourself, you start uncovering all of your inner qualities, right? People just kind of drift, they have their own opinions, their own things, their paths. They say, oh, our paths are different, but all paths are different, And it's not that we reject people. It's just now you're living authentically. You're living your truth. And there's a mismatch, it doesn't. And there's the cliche quote, and cliches are cliches because it works, it's true. And well, not quote, but question. Who were you before the world told you who you should be? And it's not a question to answer here. You don't have to answer, but it's something that you should think about, you know? Like, who were you before the world told you who you should be? And I just want you to think about that. And again, like just go into yourself, and in this silence, in this knowing, you learn so much about yourself, but you also connect to something deeper than yourself. Whether you call it supreme being, inner sentient being, higher consciousness, universe, mother nature, connecting to yourself, it leads you to connecting to something much higher than yourself. And and in this meditation practice, like you can constantly draw energy. You're never alone. You never feel alone. You have something that you can pull from, something that's constant. And in that silence, you don't just build a relationship with yourself. You also build a relationship with whatever you want to call it again, universe, energy. But yes, and that's all I have for you today. Om Shanti.
Liz has posted something. This came to her mind when you spoke about lack of experience, and it's a quote. Live by 3 simple rules. 1, love needs action. 2, trust needs proof. And sorry needs change.
There's truth in that. No proof needed. I'm kidding. Um, so we're gonna do anybody have any questions? I may not have the answers, but you can still ask, and I can pass it off if I don't have the answer.
Shanti,
Om Shanti.
how are you?
I am better now. Still
Okay.
sitting.
I logged on tonight and I was so happy. I'm proud, pleased to my heart to listen to you as my classmate from the BK Center, that you could proudly sit there and give a beautiful lecture and your beautiful meditation. Thank you so much, Shaniza.
Thank you, Shaliza.
Yeah,
Just the instrument here.
yeah, thank you and keep up the good work.
I appreciate you.
Okay, have a good night.
Shanti, Sister Lisa. Well done. I thought you said you want to stand so that you can run easily if that
Yes.
comes. But you are perfectly seated there. No need to run. And well done. We learned a lot. Your smiles and your laughter give so much more to what you're saying. So we love it, love it, love it, and thank you. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti once again. So, Liz wants to say something.
Yeah, I was saying, well done, Alisa. It was very interesting, very good, well delivered. So congrats. And I wanted to ask you, since you asked for questions, and we have 10 minutes, what keeps you going every day in on this path? What are your main inspiration points?
Good question. I think I like I mentioned in here, I like to stay open and curious. I like to approach this as childlike as possible because then it doesn't get boring. And I think a lot of people fall off the path because it gets boring. And I think a lot of people get intimidated by meditation and it scares them a lot, and meditation is not like just one way of doing meditation. You have to make it your own, and you have to make your spiritual path your own. And I think because I'm open to change and open to learning and growing, I always want to grow. I think that's what keeps me coming, and here is just, like I said, a healthy space. I have freedom to express myself. There's so much honesty, so much people with profound like intellect here, and you have amazing conversations. You can ask any questions and it wouldn't be wrong. You don't feel judged. So now it's like, for me, it's creating these spaces, creating healthy relationships, creating healthy spaces, being in them, and committing to them. Some people come and try things and then they stay for a day, a month, and then they go. But you don't get the essence, you don't get the family, you don't get the support and the same feeling as if you commit to it and just enjoy the ride. Don't have any, just stay curious, so I hope that answers your question. Christy, go ahead.
Good evening,
Excellent, excellent.
Shanti. I just want to make a comment. You said that, some people find it boring, so they come and then they leave. I want to say for me, from the time I started to date, I have always learned something new in every single session that I've attended. And it's something that it's like a light bulb moment. And I think, oh, well, I never thought of it that way. I see things in a different light now. I appreciate things on a different level. I believe what happens with people, they come maybe with a different expectation. And it also has to do with where you are in your life, on your life's journey. So for some of us, we come and we're fascinated by the knowledge, as you say, a curious mind. I mean, I have a curious mind, I know. Obvious, you have a curious mind. I know Liz has a curious mind. And I'm sure all of us who are here this evening. And that's why we're here, because that's the common thread. We want to learn more. We want to learn about this life that we've been given, because we want to live in love and we want to appreciate it. And it's a fantastic journey, and the knowledge really does it fine-tunes it. It guides you. It really does guide you on the path. And it gives you so much appreciation and gratitude for being present, being in the moment, and making each day a new day and something to experience, to love, to live, and to look forward to.
Thank you, Christine.
Om Shanti.
I,
Congratulations, Child Alicia. That presentation was great. And I'd like to see you more often on stage. I like what you said, there's nothing to fight for. Congratulations.
Thank you.
hello, Alyssa.
Hello, Brother Vicky.
I'll start to call you Lise. I say, and I've heard they've been calling you Lise, so I'll start to call you Lise. Can I call you Lise?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. So that was just to convince you, to get you to ask you this very big question. I'm kidding. So no, I don't have a question, but you opened by saying that you wanted to run, but then you talked about running, and then you talked about running, right? Run in. So I think in a way when you said that, it was a gentle ask for everybody who was attending this evening's session, and your ask was, let's go for a run in. And everybody went for that run in with you. So, and it fits nicely with your background as well as being a fitness coach and physical therapist. So I think you can use this one on your clients, on your buddies. You can talk about the run in. How yeah, it's a good springboard with these fitness enthusiasts and all of these people. Yeah.
I can hear my clients say, don't give her any ideas. Because next week when I have them running, it'll be a different story. Go on.
What should I say? It was a big dinner. We had a big meal tonight, no? And afterward, we end up running.
We fit.
Yeah, fit and ready. The mind should always be curious. Not only that, but we have learned a lot, no? And in the beginning, you did start with running.
I did not run.
No, you did not run.
Big accomplishment.
It was because when you first entered, you were very nervous, and I should say, congratulations, congratulations, and congratulations, because you have overcome that little test from Maya, no? And I really, really did enjoy this session. And the question that you asked at the end, it really caught me. You know, who am I before the world tell me who I was supposed to be? And I think that question was left on everybody's mind. And I hope before they go to bed, they answered it. Then, despite all of that, we have learned so many things. What to do, what not to do, what to expect, not to expect. And, everything in a little nutshell. We should always have this mindset of being a student, of always learning. And as everyone said before, as always being curious. Because, when you're curious, you're always being like, wanted to, oh, wonder what will happen with this or with
Yes.
that, and so on. And I think by using knowledge, as you said earlier, playing with the knowledge, Bob would always say in the Burley, go into your laboratory and experiment.
Right.
So we have to also encourage each other to go in and experiment, not only by experimenting, but also like sharing on what we have learned as well. Because even though, yes, we may walk different paths, we may not know how each other's story had started, nor we won't know how it will end. But by hearing the experience from each other, we have learned so much. And I know I may be looking very young, but
You're young.
the body might be young, but the soul is very old. And, by sharing the stories, we learn so much from everybody. And I know I have learned a lot tonight. So I want to make a nice little announcement. It was a last moment plan, and it was a touching today from Baba. We will be having children classes starting next week, Monday, from 9 a.m. Youth classes, sorry, from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. And the age range gonna be from 11 plus to 16. Om Shanti. I hope everyone had a wonderful night and that we have, grasped a point or two and we go to bed sleeping also.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Winter seems much colder these days. Maybe hell will freeze over, I pray. But my eyes can't help but see, and my ears can't help but hear. Many people are losing their way.